Hey guys, it's me again, Eric here at Mountaintop 9. And in this video, I want to go through a few more movies that I just got recently in the mail. I'm going to show you the releases and give you my thoughts on them and just whatever else comes to mind. So without any further ado, let's get into the first movie, shall we? The first movie I want to talk about in this video is Nick Palumbo's Murder Set Pieces. Let me hold this up to the camera here for you. Look at that beautiful artwork. This Blu-ray was put out by Massacre Video, and I think they did a really good job with this. I love this slipcover that it comes in. It's got embossing there on the cover, and it's just a beautiful, striking image. I've always liked this image. I have a long history with this movie that I'll get into here in a minute, but first I just want you to soak up that artwork. Look at that cover. Isn't that beautiful? And then here's the back. It's got a newly recorded commentary with the director, Nick Palumbo, on here, which I listened to the other night. The transfer is just beautiful on this thing. And then inside here, this has got a reversible artwork. On the other side, it's got a different piece of art. I like this image better. This image has always been very, very striking to me, so I reversed the sleeve in here to show this. But let me tell you a little bit about the movie here. I have a long history with this movie. I was initially going to shoot an individual review for this movie, and I started to do that yesterday, but what happened is I realized that I just didn't really have enough different things to say about this movie on its own to warrant a full-length review, but I'll give you some thoughts right now about it. Murder Set Pieces was a very controversial movie when it came out. I first heard about it in 2004 when the movie was made. It created a huge ruckus on online horror message boards back at that time. I was instantaneously drawn to the movie just from the press that it was getting on the horror boards, because the director, Nick Palumbo, he would post about it in the horror forums and really try to heavily promote it at the time. And personally, that didn't bother me because I was attracted to, just look at this imagery right here, okay? I love imagery like that in horror movies because I'm a big fan of movies like Maniac and Nightmare and Don't Go in the House and Pieces and just stuff like that. Really violent, maniac, serial killer type movies. I've always loved that stuff. So when I heard about this movie, Murder Set Pieces, and saw the director and other members of his crew when they were promoting it on the horror message boards, well, I was very receptive to it. I was like hyped up, man. I wanted to see this fucking movie. I wasn't the kind of guy that would get excited hearing about Jeepers Creepers and 30 Days of Night and all that other bullshit. And even Rob Zombie movies, I remember when House of a Thousand Corpses came out and people said, oh, that's going to be a return to like hardcore 70s horror. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. But this movie, when I heard about this, I was excited. I really wanted to see this because there are certain images in this movie. Like there is this, this movie is about a serial killer. It follows this guy around. They call him the photographer, all right? That's how he's listed in the credits. And this dude, think of how the killer is in American Psycho. There's a lot of parallels between the photographer in this movie, the main bad guy. There's a lot of parallels between him and the killer, Patrick Bateman, in American Psycho. You can't unsee it. It's really obvious. And anyway, this dude, he goes around taking pictures of strippers and all this other shit, but he kills them. I mean, this dude is a rapist, murderer, and inside his house, in his basement, he's got all these different implements, all these different ways that he kills these women. He's got knives, he's got chainsaws, he's even got these special teeth, these special dentures that he's made that have fangs and different things that he puts in his mouth. This guy's a cannibal. This guy drinks blood. So just imagine every horrific thing that you can conjure up in the depths of your depraved imagination. Well, this guy in this movie, all right, this guy in Murder Set Pieces, he does these things, man. This guy is just full tilt, psychotic, and so he just goes around slaying prostitutes and strippers left and right in this movie. That's the plot of the movie. That's what it's about, and it's appropriately named. The movie is called Murder Set Pieces. That's what you get in here, in Murder Set Pieces. So anyway, when they were hyping this movie up, they would show like stills from the movie, and one of the stills shows one of the murder victims in this special chair that the killer has constructed, and she's tied up on there, and she's all mutilated and bloody. The blood's all over the body and everything. And it instantaneously, when I saw that image, I was reminded of in Nightmare, in Romano Scavallini's Nightmare, which is one of my favorite films. There's a scene in that movie of a dead girl sitting in a chair, okay? And it looked like that to me. It reminded me of that as soon as I saw it. And then there were just other controversial things about this movie that were woven into the tapestry of it, which excited me. I wanted to see this movie, so I didn't get into all the hate. I didn't understand why all of these people on the horror groups would just bash this movie. They hadn't even seen it, but they would just go after Fright Flicks Productions, which was Nick Palumbo's company. They would go after him. They would, just basically just bash the dude left and right. It's the same thing that people on those horror boards did to Bill Olsen of Code Red DVD when he started putting out stuff on Code Red. I remember they all targeted him and would go after him and vilify him and try to drive him nuts. Well, they did the same thing to Murder Set Pieces at the time. This was a very controversial film. And anyway, as far as the movie goes, it's beautifully shot. It's shot on 35 millimeter. The colors really pop on this new transfer that they did for the Blu-ray. I love the way it looks. The movie is set in Las Vegas, and the bright lights of Vegas really become a character in this movie. Think about when you watch a movie like Maniac or like Taxi Driver, and even Nightmare, when the character George Tatum, when he's walking down the streets there in New York City, you know how that urban decay, the city becomes like a character itself and adds to the ambiance of a film. Well, it's the same way in Murder Set Pieces. That Vegas skyline with all the lights and the glitz and all that, it becomes the character. It's a very suitable backdrop for what goes on for the events that unfold in Murder Set Pieces. Now, like I said, it just goes basically from one killing to another. You're just following this guy around throughout the duration of the movie, seeing all the depraved shit that he gets up to. My biggest criticism with this movie, this is the one thing that always disappointed me about it, is I wish this movie has a ton of blood. That's the good thing. This movie lives up to the amount of blood that you'd want to see in a movie like this. It certainly delivers. This isn't no Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer where you get all hyped up and then you finally watch it, okay, and you think to yourself, okay, that movie's nowhere near as hardcore as what all the stupid-ass critics made it out to be, okay? No, Murder Set Pieces has a ton of blood. There's a lot of blood on display in this. But my criticism, and this goes all the way back to when I first saw it, because I ordered this movie, not this copy, I'm talking about clear back in 2005. I bought directly from Nick Palumbo, from Fright Flicks. I ordered the director's cut DVD when he was releasing it himself and selling it himself. And I bought a DVD directly from him back then in 2005. And I liked the movie then when I saw it. But the only thing that kind of let me down was the fact that there aren't a lot of on-screen kills, like in the sense of you don't see graphic effects as they happen. Like, think of things like in The Prowler, you know, when the girl's getting her throat cut in the swimming pool and the blade is going back and forth. And it's a very simple effect. You know how Savini did that, how he just had the machete and he had parts of it cut out so it could go right up to the neck and he could saw it back and forth. But it's very brutal effect to see in a movie. Or think of the scalping in Maniac, how the head is cut up here and then Frank Zito just pulls it up and it reveals the brain matter and everything underneath. I wish that Murder Set Pieces would have had more stuff like that where you see really visceral things as they're happening. Instead, what you mostly get in Murder Set Pieces is the after effects of things, okay? You don't like see them as they're happening. For instance, you see a girl sitting in a chair in this and you see her whole nipple cut off. Obviously, the photographer, the killer in this movie, he's been mutilating the victim, but you don't see that mutilation as it's happening, okay? You get a few shots here and there of stuff, like when a blade goes real quick across the throat and then you just see blood come out and stuff like that. But I just wish that there was more, like, visceral makeup effects happening right in front of the camera. So that's my only real criticism. I just wish there was more stuff like that, because other than that, this movie is a good movie. If you like this kind of stuff, this is a good movie. I really like it a lot. In fact, I mean, if I had a budget to make a movie, all right, you know, if I could make a lot of different movies, Murder Set Pieces, I would definitely want to make a movie in a similar vein as this. Not copying it or anything, but you know what I mean. Like Murder Set Pieces, in my mind's eye, I can envision myself making a movie very similar to this. The effects in this movie were done by Toe Tag Pictures, and they're known for the August Underground movies, you know, stuff like that. So I was already familiar with them when Murder Set Pieces came out, okay? And so that was another selling point to me. The funny thing is, though, like I said, you know how I said I listened to the commentary track, the newly recorded commentary for this release? On the commentary track, Nick Palumbo says in a couple scenes, he says, yeah, I had shot a murder scene for this victim here, but I didn't like the way the effect looks, so I just didn't show it. So I think that's what happened a few times, where Nick Palumbo doesn't show a killing on screen. I think it's because he must not like the way an effect looked. But as it stands, this movie's got a ton of blood, and it looks really cool. Like I said, the movie's beautifully shot. It's got good music in it. Even the scenes that have rock music in this, usually it annoys me in a horror movie when you see rock and metal music, because I just like a traditional horror score. I love synthesizer scores and shit like that, which this movie has. This movie has music like that as well. But in the scenes where there's like rock music playing, I think it fits. It fits with the on-screen imagery that's going on. Like there's a scene where the photographer, he kills these two girls on a bed. And there's like some red lighting and everything, and there's a rock song playing. It adds an energy to the scene. It accentuates the scene in the same way as like when Dario Argento would use an Iron Maiden song in the movie Phenomena, you know, when Argento would do that. So it actually works. This movie's got really good lighting as well. Just so there's a lot good going for this movie. I recommend you check it out. Draw your own conclusions on it. And yes, I recommend you check out Murder Set Pieces. Alright, the next movie I want to talk about is Attack of the Beast Creatures. Now look at this. I'm going to get close here so you can see the cover real good. Look at that. Attack of the Beast Creatures. You gotta love a cheesy ass B-movie cover like that. And title. I mean, how cool is that? Attack of the Beast Creatures. Now this has a reversible sleeve. The other side is a cover that has the title Hell Island. But I like this cover better. So I flipped it around here. Now, Attack of the Beast Creatures. What's this movie about? This movie is about this group of people. They're shipwrecked, all right? They're on like a Titanic type ship. In fact, the fucking movie takes place back in 1920, I think, is what the title card says at the beginning of the movie. And they do a good job of making the broads in this movie. They make the chicks in this movie look like it's fucking 1920. The way their hair looks and the dresses they're wearing and then the way the men look. The way the men folk look. And anyway, they're on this fucking ship. It's a Titanic. And it crashes out in the damn ocean. And these people are like, what are we going to do? We're out here. We're out in the middle of fucking nowhere. And I tell you what. If I crashed out in the middle of the ocean, the first thing I'd be thinking about is sharks. Think about that, man. Think about the sharks and about getting pulled, just pulled apart limb by limb as sharks just get in this feeding frenzy and just rip you apart when your blood spills in the water. That's what I'd be worried about. And anyway, these people get on a little pontoon boat and they manage to not get eaten by sharks, you know, which is a damn miracle when you're out in the ocean. And anyway, these people are in the little boat, all right? They're in a pontoon boat, and they end up at this island. And on this island, there are these little creatures. And these things are so funny looking, man. These things, they look like, okay, do you like cannibal movies? Well, I do. You know, movies like Cannibal Holocaust and Cannibal Ferox and Zombie Holocaust has that cannibal action in it. And on. Many other examples. Jungle Holocaust, you name it. Well, anyway, these little creatures, and they're like these little dolls with black hair, and they're red colored. They look like little devils. They're just these evil little things. Well, anyway, these things are on this island. And they just tear these people apart. They get on them and they bite them and they rip their skin out. And they just go apeshit through this whole movie. These things, though, the reason I brought up the cannibal movies is because that's basically what they're like. All right? But instead of it being human beings, human like primitive savages on an island tearing people apart, it's these little dolls. It's these little fucking beast creatures. And this movie is just hilarious. It is so much fun. I defy you to not have fun with this movie, Attack of the Beast Creatures. It's entertaining. Once it gets going and these little guys start going after this small group of people on this island, the fun just never lets up. There's never a dull moment. You always see these things lurking around, peeking around the trees. It's funny when they go running because you just see the top of their bodies all the time. As they go running, they go just running all over through the damn trees, through the fucking leaves. And like I said, they jump all over the people and they're biting them, biting their arms and biting their tits and their just everything, right? And this movie's bloody. Not only is there a lot of blood on display when these razor-mouthed little bastards are biting people, but it's bloody. There's scenes where there's like water, okay? Remember how I said they're on a fucking deserted island out in the middle of the ocean? You don't even know where they're at. Well, obviously, after a while, when you're on a desert island, you think you're going to get thirsty? I think so too. I think I'd get pretty damn thirsty if I was out on a desert island, all right? So these poor people, all they want in their life is a drink. Well, they find a reservoir, a little body of water on this island. And anyway, one of the dudes, he runs up, he bends his head down, he's like, oh yeah, I need a drink. Give me some of that sweet poontang water. And he starts putting it in his mouth. Next thing you know, his skin, his flesh is being consumed away by this water. This water's like laced with acid or something because it just makes him melt away. And you see the blood just dripping down as his skin and his flesh is melting. Hilarious, gory, fun. That's what I'm talking about with Attack of the Beast Creatures. You can't go wrong with this one. So I suggest you pick this movie up. This is a fun B movie. Attack of the Beast Creatures. This movie isn't gonna win any Academy Awards for greatest horror movie or anything like that. But it's a damn good time. This is the kind of movie that you put on if you want to have a fun time, you want to have a few laughs. And man, I can't recommend you check out that movie enough. It is a fun movie. Now we go from a very fun movie that's a great time to a movie that is boring as shit. I mean, okay, let me show you the movie first of all. Here's the movie. It's called Play Dead. Another title of the movie, I'll show you that. It's also known as Satan's Dog. But anyway, here's the cool slip sleeve. See, look at this slip sleeve. It's cool artwork there. Play Dead. Look at the back. It says it may be the last thing you do. It may be the last damn thing you do, you son of a bitch, so you better play dead. That's what it says. Alright, so this is nice. It's embossed. It's all beautiful. It's another Vinegar Syndrome release. And then in here, check out this cool cover. Look at this. Look at this cool cover. Satan's Dog. And look at that artwork. I mean, you can't go wrong with artwork like that. That kicks ass. But you know what the problem is, my friends? The problem with this movie, Satan's Dog, Play Dead, I don't give a fuck what you call it. Just don't call it Late for Dinner. But the problem with it is it is boring. This movie's not good, man. It's just, its biggest downfall is, that's what it all comes down to. It's just boring. It's not entertaining. It's not engaging. I had a hard time getting through this movie. There are other really good killer dog movies, evil dog movies. I like that movie. I think it's called Hound from Hell. It's got Richard Crenna in it, or maybe it's called Devil Dog. I think it's called Devil Dog. Media Blasters put it out at one point. I like that movie anyway. I think that's the title, Devil Dog. That's a good movie. Obviously, Cujo is a decent movie for what it is. You got Man's Best Friend. You ever seen that one? My point is this. There are other killer dog movies. Of course, they're nothing better than B movies. They're not great movies or anything, but they're at least engaging. That's why I'm pointing out these other movies. Devil Dog, Cujo, Man's Best Friend, whatever other horror movie, dog movies come to mind, they're all better than this one. They're all better than Play Dead. The problem with this movie is it just does not keep you engaged. It's about this woman that has this dog and she's sending this dog to kill other people. I mean, that's about all there is to it, but it's just dry as all get out. I mean, I think you could probably find a daytime soap opera. Sit your ass down in front of a daytime soap opera with a big bucket of popcorn and you'd probably find more scandalous entertainment than you would in Play Dead. It is just so dry. It takes forever for anything entertaining to happen. It's got horrible acting. There's a girl in this movie that is continuously terrorized by the dog in this film, and this girl's acting is abysmal. When she cries and is trying to project grief in the film, it is laughable acting, my friends. It is just so terrible. Now, the next movie I want to show you is the classic Buried Alive, also known as Beyond the Darkness, also known as Bio Omega, also known as Blue Holocaust. This movie has so many alternate titles, it's not even funny. Now, this was put out by Severin, and what I love about what Severin did with this release is how they're using the old Thriller video cover art. I mean, that is so cool that Severin did that they used this classic big box Thriller video cover art. Same thing on the back here. This was the back of the original VHS release. Then on the inside, look at that cool cover on the inside that Severin put for the inside of the release. Isn't that awesome? I mean, that's beautiful right there. And then see, it uses the Beyond the Darkness title right there. You know what's really funny about this movie, guys? When this movie came out, when it came out from Thriller Video back in the day, you know how they had Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, hosting movies for a Thriller video line, and she was always hosting these old B movies and stuff. Well, anyway, as legend has it, she's a total fucking poser anyway. But it's funny because she refused hosting duties for movies like Seven Doors of Death. You know that movie. It's also known as The Beyond, but when Thriller Video put it out, they put it out under the Seven Doors of Death title. She didn't want to host Buried Alive. She didn't want to host Make Them Die Slowly. Those movies were too hardcore for old Elvira. I mean, these are true horror films right here. And guys, you know how much I love Buried Alive. I've talked about it in the past. I did a horror movie douchebag review for it, but I'll still talk about it here for a minute, just in case anyone's never seen those. It is a classic, sick horror film. The first time I ever saw it was, I rented it from a Blockbuster, and I had heard all of these rumors. You got to understand about Buried Alive is that it has all of these legends around it, especially back then. When I was coming up, there were different movies that had legends attached to them. They had these stories that had grown over time. Like, for instance, the movie Last House on Dead End Street. The legend back then, when I was younger, when I was a teenager, the myth going around is that they really killed somebody in that movie, or really killed multiple people, that it was a real fucking snuff film. No one knew who the director, Victor Janos, as he was called in the credits back then, no one knew who the fuck he was. Turns out he was a guy named Roger Watkins. This stuff all came out later. But at the time, there was all this mystery surrounding a movie like Last House on Dead End Street, all right? And that just made things more exciting. Well, the same thing with a movie like Buried Alive, okay? That movie had rumors surrounding it that they used a real corpse in the film. So things like that really added an aura of danger when you went to rent a movie like this that had urban legends circulating about it. Like, did they use a real corpse in the movie? Did people really die? Just stuff like that. It really just made you want to see these movies more because it made them taboo. And that's the way it was when I was growing up, man. When I was a teenager, you had mystery around movies like Last House on Dead End Street, Buried Alive, Cannibal Holocaust, Faces of Death, the guinea pig movies like Flowers of Flesh and Blood, things like that had this, also Traces of Death, if you've ever heard of those. They were like Faces of Death, but they had death metal soundtrack to them. All that kind of stuff, though, was like really taboo when I was a teenager. It had an aura of danger around it, and it just made you want to seek this stuff out, you know? So anyway, Buried Alive was like that, and I remember the first time I saw it. It really is a sicko flick, man. There's some sick stuff going on in here. This movie is filled with all kinds of sordid stuff, man. You've got the guy bringing his lover home who's dead, and he puts her in a bed, and then he's killing other chicks, and there's bodies getting put in bathtubs with acid. The guy even takes a girl's hand in one scene and he's ripping off her fingernails. You've got internal organs being pulled out of a body. So you've got all of this carnage going on right on screen, but then surrounding it, there's a very sleazy tone to this movie, a very sleazy atmosphere. You have all these things that are implied that are going on that aren't directly shown, but it's a pervasive tone of sickness that surrounds a movie like Buried Alive. So it's one that I highly recommend. It's an Italian horror film classic. Now, moving along to another boring movie, the next thing I want to show you, and this is from the great Arrow Video. They are another really good label. They've put out a lot of cool stuff. You know, Arrow Video's put out Blood Rage, The Mutilator, and just on and on. They've done a lot of releases. But anyway, here's Deadly Games. Beautiful cover. You know, and that's the classic VHS cover right there of Deadly Games. Look at that artwork, man. You know? And, I don't know. This is kind of this sleeve in here, it's okay. It's not as impressive as the classic artwork. This is a new piece of art right here. But anyway, beautiful sleeve, guys. But I'll tell you what, and the transfer that Arrow Video did is excellent as well. This movie looks nice, but guess what, guys? Just like Play Dead, the problem with Deadly Games is that it's boring as all hell. I've just never been able to get into this movie. It starts out really good. There's this good opening scene where this girl is, she's at this isolated house. It's nighttime, okay? And she's getting strange phone calls, and she's all alone. You know, that classic kind of horror film sense of tension is building and everything. The really cool thing about this movie that I do like is at the beginning when you see outside of this girl's house, and it's out in the hillside somewhere, there's a fucking payphone on the street, right down the street from her house, but right within eye range. Like, she can look out her fucking window and see this phone booth out there. Weird as fuck. Can you imagine that? That you, like, live in a house that's seemingly in the middle of nowhere. It's isolated from other homes. It's out in the country. But, like, I don't know, 50 yards from your house, there is a phone booth. Just out by the side of the road. Nothing else around it. A solitary phone booth. Well, it's like that in this movie. And it's really weird because this girl is all alone. And you see that phone booth out there in the darkness. There's something creepy about that and weird. It's off-center. But other than that, man, this movie has just never done it for me. It tries for a... Now, I like thrillers. I'm about to say that this movie tries for a thriller-type vibe, but you gotta understand, a bad thriller. Because there are a lot of good thriller movies out there. But this movie does not succeed as a slasher. It really doesn't. It's hard for me to stay engaged with it, and I'm very forgiving of slasher movies, of horror films in general. I really try to see the good things in what a filmmaker tries to accomplish. I try to look for redeemable qualities in movies I watch. I never sit down, guys, and here's the thing, and it's because I love this genre as a whole. I love horror films so much. And I know that it's a struggle to make a film from the very inception, from writing to casting, and then just everything that goes into making a motion picture is an arduous undertaking. So when I sit down and watch a horror movie, I don't want to rip it apart. I want to give it the benefit of the doubt. I want to look for redeeming qualities. But to me, one of the things I think I've always pointed out in videos is that the biggest downfall that any movie could ever commit, the biggest transgression a movie could ever commit, is just being boring. It's just not getting into a lane and rolling with it and going all out in whatever lane you're choosing. This movie just kind of straddles the fence and kind of comes off as this boring ass, like, Agatha Christie whodunit mystery type bullshit. It doesn't go full tilt slasher. It's more of like this drama mystery. It kind of airs a little bit too much in that vein for me instead of just being pure horror, pure slasher. Okay? And but most of all, it's just like I said, guys, it's boring. I've never been able to get into this one, so I don't recommend Deadly Games. Unless you're already a fan of this movie for whatever reason, then yeah, you probably already have grabbed this era video release, but I don't like it. Alright guys, I'm going to close out this video with one last movie, and this movie is fun. Remember how we just got done talking about Deadly Games? It's boring. Well, guess what? That's not the problem with this little beauty right here called Don't Panic. This movie is a lot of fun. Check out that cover art right there. This is the slipcover artwork. Alright, and then here's some more artwork here on the back, displaying some things. I mean, what it shows here on this cover, this artwork they did for the slip sleeve, it perfectly shows you, kind of gives you a taste of what's to come in the film. Now, inside here, it's got reversible art, and I have reversed it to this classic Mogul VHS artwork. Back in the VHS days, there was a label called Mogul, and they put out movies like The Icebox Murders and Don't Look in the Attic and things like that, and they were very noteworthy for their cool cover art. And anyway, when they put this movie out, this was the artwork they used, and I always liked it. Look how I love the use of color, very eye-catching. Look at that right there. That is beautiful. Making sure it gets sharp there so you can really soak up that classic colorful artwork. Now, Don't Panic is this movie where these teenagers, they get out a Ouija board one night. They start fucking around with the good old Ouija board, and they conjure up some kind of demon or devil named Virgil. And anyway, this devil, he possesses one of the friends, and he goes on a complete murder spree. Goes around stabbing and cutting, and there's quite a bit of bloodshed in this movie. This movie ain't graphic in a really sick, depraved way like a movie like Murder Set Pieces, you know, where that's got all this that movie is very humorless and just very tries to be real gritty and realistic with the bloodshed. This movie came out in the late 80s. I think it came out in 1987, and it's very much an artifact of its time. It's really energetic, it's flashy. I would even go so far as to call it a pop horror film, in the sense that it has the same kind of frenetic energy that a movie like Nightmare on Elm Street 4, the Dream Master, or Nightmare on Elm Street 3, the Dream Warriors. You know how those movies have a certain kind of flash and energy to them, and a lot of stuff's going on screen. It's just a lot of sound and fury going on in front of your eyes. Well, that's the way Don't Panic is. It's a classic mid to late 80s horror film, very much of its time. It's got some good, memorable killings in it. It's got the demon possession going on. So this movie is a blending of the supernatural with slasher elements. Both of those elements are coming together in a very frantic way. The main character in this movie, it is hilarious, guys. The main character in this movie, he's got this blonde curly hair. Think of like the way William Katt used to look. You know William Katt? You know, he was in Carrie and he was in House and stuff like that. You know, how he had the curly blonde hair. Well, anyway, the main character in this, he's got curly blonde hair and everything. And he's probably like 17 or 18 years old. This guy is practically a full-grown man. And almost every scene in this movie, all right, once you get past the beginning, he's running around in a pair of dinosaur pajamas. I'm serious. This guy's got on a pajama shirt with a fucking brontosaurus on it and a Tyrannosaurus Rex, a good old T-Rex. And he's just wearing this shit out in public with no shame. I mean, he don't give a damn. He's wearing dinosaur pajamas in public throughout most of this movie, and he wants other people to like take him seriously when he's running around warning people, hey, you know, that this person's gonna die and that person's gonna die, because that's what he's trying to do. He sees visions of these murders and gets warnings from beyond that they're gonna happen. He gets these premonitions and shit. And when he goes and tries to warn people, he's running around wearing a pajama shirt with dinosaurs on it. So I think that's kind of funny. And but yeah, guys, Don't Panic is a fun movie. I really recommend it. It's another good release that Vinegar Syndrome put out. So yeah, guys, out of the assortment of movies I just showed you, these are the best ones right here. Murder Set Pieces, Don't Panic, Buried Alive, Attack of the Beast Creatures. These are the good movies. These are the good ones right here. These movies, bad. These two movies get a spanking and a timeout. These movies are bad, bad, bad. Don't like them. Don't like Deadly Games. And I sure as fuck don't like this movie, Play Dead. This movie can play dead for all I care. Alright? So anyway, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. You let me know in the comments if you've seen any of these flicks. Let me know what you think of them. And guess what, my friends? I'll be seeing you again really soon.